Brett Okamoto with ESPN alongside UFC lightweight Dan Hooker, who takes on Iaquinta, UFC 243 co-main event. Big fight. You've been talking about it all week. How are you holding up? 2 days out. What's on your mind?
Yeah, you're just getting ready to flick the switch. Once it all kicks off after weigh-ins, man, it's time to get down to business and time to focus.
I mean, such a big topic of this fight is just where it's being held, the amount of people that are going to be watching it. What do you think it's going to feel like when you're standing behind that curtain and you're getting ready to walk out in front of about 60,000 people?
Yeah, well, I just went out there and took a sneak peek behind the scenes at them setting up all the chairs, and it looks like a lot of people. It's going to be super exciting. That's something that very few, even UFC fighters, have experienced that many people. It's only a handful of us, so I feel grateful that I get to be a part of it.
What is some of the more interesting, unique places that you fought in your career? Can you think of any that, obviously this one's truly unique, but have you ever been in a situation where you're like, oh man, the circumstances of just where I'm fighting are kind of interesting?
Yeah, well, I think it was my third fight I ever had was getting on a plane and coming over to Australia. So being from New Zealand, being on such a secluded part of the world, we have to travel to fight. It only took me 3 fights to win the New Zealand title and kind of take that over. And ever since then, I've been fighting internationally or fighting international opponents in New Zealand. So yeah, I've been to fighting in Macau, fighting in Hong Kong. Training in Denver, training in Thailand, Vietnam. So I do a fair bit of traveling.
Gotten around, yeah. The travel doesn't bother you anymore, probably, huh?
No, well, that's my last 5 have all been on the trial in the States. So it was good to only get on a 3-hour flight come over here.
What's it like for you to be at City Kickboxing, and you got obviously Adesanya, who's not only an interim champion, but rising star in the sport. You got Alex Volkanovski, who just signed a title fight, and you're on that path. You're headed in that direction, but you're not quite there yet, and you're seeing these guys. I mean, are you trying to learn through their experiences, or does it make you more antsy to get there to where they're at? I mean, what's that like being so close to it, but it's not quite yours yet?
Yeah, it's something that I know damn sure that I'm capable of doing it. I'm capable, and it's where I belong to be. So there's enough talk about it. You just got to go out and then get the results. You have to get the wins and put yourself in those positions.
Someone's tuning in this fight has never seen Iaquinta, never heard anything about him, don't know anything about his personality, his fighting style. How would you describe him?
Yeah, he's an exciting guy, and he comes to fight. He's a very fast fighter, and he comes to get in your face and throw punches. So that, against me, makes for a very exciting fight.
What does Al do particularly well? I mean, you just mentioned a few things, but what do you think is his best attribute?
Yeah, good boxer, good right hand, pretty strong wrestling, offensively and both defensively. So he poses. He's got some real threats in this game.
One thing I want to ask you about, and I haven't talked to you since that Edson Barboza fight, but it was such an incredible fight. For the reason, I think that I'm sure you're aware of this, a lot of people were just amazed at how much punishment you could take. And when you hear that, is that something like you wear as a badge of honor, or is that like the last thing that you want to hear after a fight?
Not necessarily I'll wear it as like a badge of honor or anything like that. That's just what you got to do to get me out of there. I'm not ashamed of that loss. I'm not proud of it, but I'm not ashamed of it in any means. If someone says, "Oh, you lost a fight," like, bro, you would have killed over after the first kick, mate. You don't know what you're talking about. So I just can't quit on myself. That's a deal I made with myself a very long time ago, that I can get knocked out, I can get submitted, I can get beat down, black and blue. But you just can't quit on yourself. You just got to back yourself 100%. And the day that I start looking for a way out is the day that I piss off and get a real job, to be honest. So I'm just in there to win, or you're going to have to get me out of there.
Well, I got to tell you, my favorite line in MMA history, my favorite quote of all time, was from you before that fight. Someone asked you, what is this fight going to look like? And you said, a fight is like, it's like releasing a box of cats. You just don't know what's going to happen. I thought that was the most brilliant analogy. Was that just on the spot? Like, why the cats? I mean, cats will do anything, right?
Yeah, well, that's a perfect analogy, right? Like, everyone, you can speculate and you can say this is going to happen, but man, this is combat sport. This is these 4-ounce gloves, these MMA. There's so many different avenues. It's so hard to predict.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports and analysis, download the ESPN app. And for live streaming and special content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.